Oof. Hi, guys. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well today. Some technical difficulties today, but I think we're good. You're going to want to be able to see me. So I'm just going to make sure in the camera that you are able to see me. And I hope that you are ready because we are doing a Chaturanga extravaganza today, meaning that our upper body, our core, and of course, our arms, especially the backs of our arms, are going to be getting some really excellent attention and strengthening. All right, I have two blocks with me. I don't think you're actually going, I've decided that you're actually not going to need blocks today. But of course, as per usual, if they are part of your regular practice, you are welcome to use them at any time that you see fit. All right, without further ado, let's get to it. Let's get into our Chaturanga extravaganza. But as per usual, we always start with grounding. So we're not getting heated and fiery right away. We'll work our way to it. And as fiery as this sequence might end up becoming, it's still choose your own adventure. Always remember that you can take what you need and ditch what you don't. All right, go ahead, legs crossed or legs stretched out in front of you if your knees are sore or injured, and allow your hands to be cupped over top of your knees or palms face the sky, whichever feels most natural to you. On your next breath, close your eyes. Take a few breaths. And then let's take one releasing breath together. A long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, slide out through your mouth. All that does not serve you, all the thoughts, occurrences, incidents, interactions that you've had that seem to weigh you down. Maybe let's do that one more time. Inhale, long, deep inhale through your nose. And don't hold back, exhale. Side out through your mouth. And use every subsequent exhale to just release the tension that you may be holding in your jaw, your neck or your shoulders, hips, and anywhere else in your body. Just soften. You've arrived. This is it. At the very least, for this practice, there is no anticipation and no expectation. You being as you are, you doing the best that you can, that is enough. It's always been enough. But especially, allow yourself to believe that, to truly believe that for today's practice. Now, there's no striving. There's no even aspiring. Yeah, we're just going to leave aspirations at the door just for today, just for this practice. And it's more about revealing the strength that's already in you. Revealing and connecting to that ever present sense of stillness, clarity, and peace. And although your eyes are closed, soften your gaze. You're here now. You've arrived. Feel the relief wash over you. And as you relax into the trust of this practice, into the trust that you'll be able to take what comes. More than that, you'll be able to tell what it is that you need in every movement of this practice. And you're going to let yourself have it. Long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. Allow your pace to slow a beat or a couple of beats. And then gently flutter your eyes open. Arms up toward the sky. Reach up, stretch up. Just a little warm up, swing from side to side, mainly because it feels good, that morning stretch. If you didn't get a morning stretch this morning, eventually come back to center, plant that right hand down, and allow that left hand to come up overhead. Yeah, getting really into the side body now. You might even press that right hand in just a little bit so that you can get a little bit more opening through that left side body. Turn your heart upward. And inhale, reach up, stretch up, left hand plants down, right arm overhead. Turn your right heart upward, maybe pressing into the ground with that left hand. And inhale, reach up, stretch up, clasp both hands toward your backside. Draw your clasped hands down toward your tailbone. Roll your shoulders up and back behind you. And at this point, you may notice if your shoulders were tight, how tight they are. You're not working too hard, so you're not pulling your arms back behind you. You're just simply stretching it down, bringing a sense of energy into this as you energize with this heart opener. Inhale, shine your heart up further toward the sky. Energize. And exhale, gently release. Come into your tabletop position and move into your cat-cows. Inhale, tailbone to the sky, gaze up to the ceiling. And exhale, round your back, tuck that tailbone in. Nice. Inhale, tailbone to the sky, gaze up to the ceiling. And exhale, round your back, tuck that tailbone in, and you may be inclined to do a little bit of free flow. And if you are so inclined, go ahead, free flow, move in any direction that feels good for your body right now. And notice as you bring this body awareness into yourself, where is it that feels tight today? Anywhere? Is there anywhere that feels restless? Maybe a little congested? And I'm talking about your mind or your body. Play with some new movements. Get a little playful. Get a little bit light. Doesn't always have to be serious. Eventually, come back into your tabletop position. And let's take a moment here as you notice your shoulders stacking over your elbows, stacking over your wrists. This is going to be a very important point of noticing for today, especially as we work on our chaturangas. It's not about looking pretty in your flow. It's about letting this chaturanga be functional. Your chaturanga is foundational to your flow. So you want to be able to do it safe and do it correctly. And know all the variations that you can take should you not want to do chaturangas one day. Okay, so notice the stacking sensation. Notice your hips over top of your knees. This is just for tabletop, not so much for chaturangas. And just stay here a moment. Tone your belly button up to your spine and draw it up, almost like as if you're trying to suck your navel in and up, zipping the fronts of your pants if you had zippers on it. Nice. How are you feeling? Not bad, right? Okay, let's go ahead. Work on those wrists a little bit. Turn your right fingertips toward your right knees. And you may feel a very nice, pleasant stretch through the front of your wrist. Take as much as you need. This might be enough for you. You might have to lean forward to take a little bit of the weight off. Or if you want more, stretch your sit bone down towards your heels. Be gentle. This is still the beginning. Only take as much as you want, as much as you need. Nice. Gently release and switch sides. Left fingertips to left knees, right fingertips point back toward the top of the mat. And just opening up the fronts of your arms, beginning to bring a little bit of opening through your wrists. taking as much or as little as you need. Nice. Gently release. Come onto your sit bones to your heels, or whichever sitting position is most comfortable to you. It doesn't really matter. See, I told you we'd start slow. We're just warming everything up right now. Let's do our shoulders. Hands to the tops of your shoulders and just round your elbows toward each other, up and out, about 5 rounds. Just noticing how your shoulders are feeling, the mobility of your shoulders. Be gentle as needed. About 5 rounds. Nice. And let's do our wrists again, but this time seated. The right fingers point down toward the ground, and take your left hand and just gently tuck those right fingers back. You should feel this more emphasized around the wrist area. Warming them up, kind of bringing the memo into your body, where your wrists are and how they feel today. Gently release. And other side, left fingers point down toward the ground, right fingers gently tuck your left fingers back. Nice, gentle opening, gently release. A little bit more heat. Come back to your tabletop position. Notice your navel tucking it up and or in and up towards your spine and up, zipping up the pant zippers. Notice your alignment, shoulders over your elbows, over your wrists. You're going to hear me say that a lot today. Okay, go ahead. Let's go ahead and bring that right foot back, right toes point down toward the mat. Tiger pose. And once you feel stable, when you feel stable, go ahead. Left arm lifts straight up toward the front of the mat. And find yourself lengthening from your fingertips all the way to the tips of your toes. If this is difficult for you to balance, you may tuck your left toes underneath. You can find a little bit more balance there. Notice that the belly button, your core has to do a little bit more work. Draw your arm back into the shoulder socket. We'll call that good. Hands and feet back into tabletop position and switch sides. Left foot kicks back behind you. Left toes point down toward the mat, and right arm out in front of you. Belly button tucks in and up. And you're not arching with that low back either. Tuck that tailbone in. Yeah, nice flat back. Now's a good time to begin to imagine some oranges placed along your backside. Let's put 3 on right now. From the bottom of your neck to the middle of your back, all the way to your sacrum. Can you keep those 3 oranges nice and steady along your back? Can you keep them steady even as you place your hands and feet back into tabletop position? Nice. They're definitely going to roll off as you do this next thing. Tuck your toes underneath the mat and hips up toward the sky. Downward dog. No more oranges. Not for now. Pedal out your feet as you need. Right, left, left, right. Feeling your back leg line. We spent quite a bit of time on the upper body. So how's your lower body feeling? Lengthen your spine as you settle into stillness. Lengthen your spine. Your fingers are slightly webbed and you press down and up into the mat. Lift your hips up toward the sky. Nice. Come all the way high up onto your tippy toes and exhale. Draw your heels back down. They may or may not touch. Either way is okay, as long as you find yourself becoming with a nice long spine. I was going to say a nice triangle, but we may not all look like that because some of us have our knees bent, and that's okay. Gently walk your feet up towards your hands. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back with that left foot, low runner's lunge. Let's get into the hips a little bit, especially the fronts of your hips. How's that left hip flexor feeling? Gently lower down onto your left knee, both hands toward the inner edge of the mat, right foot toward the outer edge of the mat, and right hand on your right leg. Nice twisting, getting a little bit into the right hip as well. Everything comes back to center. Heel toe, right foot back to center, and take a gentle twist here. Inhale, right arm up toward the sky. Exhale, plant that right hand back down, tuck your left toes underneath the mat, and lift that left foot back up off the mat. One more breath for that left hip flexor. Then step forward. Left foot comes forward to meet the right. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Step back with that right foot, right hip flexor, right over here. How is the front of your right hip feeling? And gently lower that right knee down toward the mat. Nice. Both hands toward the inner edge of that left foot. Heel toe that left foot all the way toward the outer edge of the mat. And left hand to left leg, gaze toward the fireplace. Both hands come back to center. Heel toe everything back to center. And then take a gentle twist here. Inhale, left arm up toward the sky. Nice. Exhale. Left hand comes toward the outer edge of that left foot. Tuck your right toes underneath the mat. Lift that right knee up and step forward. Inhale. Halfway lift, flat back. Hands on your shins. Look forward. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, arms up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. Exhale, ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let that upper body go. If you have the bandwidth to, if you have the space to, go ahead and take your peace fingers over top of your big toes. Otherwise, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Rock your body from side to side and up and down. This just feels good, so let it feel good. Bring a bend into your knees if that lower back is pulling. Shake your head yes and no. Allow your arms to completely dangle if you're in ragdoll. And then hands on the ground or hands on your shins. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, one more forward fold. And inhale, arms come up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward. Notice your feet, that they are about hip distance apart. We're going to lower down into chair pose, Utkatasana. As you inhale, Utkatasana, sit back, sit bones back toward your heels. Inhale, hands to heart center, rise all the way back up. And this time, place your hands straight out in front of you. Stretching your hands so far in front that you even feel that your shoulders are rounding a little bit. Yeah, not your neck, but just your shoulders. You want your shoulders to round just a little bit. And then draw your shoulders back, plug your arms back into the arm socket. Pretty good. Nice straight spine. Bring a 90-degree bend into your arms. Nice. Just 90 degrees, hugging your elbow into your sides. And here it's easy to hug. It's not so easy when we're in high plank. Make sure that you don't over hug your elbows. You don't want your elbows coming inward toward each other. That's not the point. You want your elbows to be directly straight behind you. If you had laser beams off the tip of your elbows, they would shoot directly behind you toward the wall or the window. Okay, so your hands, straight spine. Let's do that one more time. Press out. Let's do 4 counts. May as well bring some strength into this. 4, 3, 2, 1. See, I told you, it's not so bad. It'll heat up, but it's not so bad, right? Okay, so Chaturanga. Press your hands forward. Overemphasize the movement so that you're actually rounding your shoulders. And I wonder if you can see if I go here. Yeah, so that you're rounding your shoulders. Overemphasize and then plug your arms back in. Nice straight spine. Smile through your collarbone so your chest is nice and wide. Yes. Draw your elbows back 90 degrees. And this is a really good place for you to notice what 90 degrees looks like. Sometimes when we don't have the strength quite yet to get into a full chaturanga at 90 degrees and we're in high plank, we end up looking like this. And you see how the shoulder is concave in? That's actually going to hurt your shoulders, and that's putting weight in the places that shouldn't be bearing weight. Your shoulders and your wrists are at risk. So you want a nice flat back, 90-degree elbow. You're probably thinking you got the hang of this. Let's do it one more time. Press out for 4 counts. 4, 3, 2. And you're using strength too, by the way. You're keeping engagement in your arms so that you can strengthen a little bit. 1, straight out. Overemphasize, round that back. Feels kind of nice on the shoulders too as you stretch it out a little bit. And then draw your shoulders back, smile through your collarbone, plug your arms back into your shoulder blades, and then bring a bend into your elbows 90 degrees. Are your elbows pointing directly down toward the ground? Do it so that it feels like as if your elbows are pointing directly down toward the ground. Sometimes we wing out, because I talked about going in. Sometimes we wing out when we don't quite, once again, have the arm strength. So kind of funky things can happen with the alignment of our arms when we don't quite have the strength. And that's okay. That's something to build on. And every day is different, but just to know where you are so that you can practice safely. Okay, keeping yourself in chaturanga arms, your feet hip distance apart. Exhale, lower, chair pose. All of your weight into your heels. It's a little harder when you do it this way. Hands come together, heart center, and let's just take a twist. Go ahead, left hand over your right leg. Draw that left hip back. Draw your hands towards your heart center. Inhale, hands to heart center. And exhale, twist on over toward the left-hand side. Draw that right hip back. That right knee is going to want to creep in front of the left. Draw it back. Hands to heart center. Feels good for the thoracic. You don't have to go super deep yet. We're just still getting into a phase of our warm-up. With that said, hands to heart center. And inhale, hands come forward, warm-up's over. Let's get into it. Let's flow. Let's bring some heat into this. Surya Namaskar 8. Don't think too much about it. Just know what variations you'd like to take and flow. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. Gaze between your thumbs. Exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. And inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands. Hop or step toward the back of the mat and flow through Chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths. Long, deep inhale. And long, deep exhale. Bring a bend into your knees. Come high up onto your tippy toes. Hop or step toward the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. And let's go again. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step toward the back of the mat and flow through your variation. Lower down, Chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths here. Steady breaths as you begin to bring heat into your practice. And then let's warm up our shoulders. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Shoulders stacked over your elbows, stacked over your wrists. Hips come up first, belly button to your spine, press back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Nice. One last one. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Bring a bend into your knees and step your feet toward the outer edges of your mat. Malasana, opening up the hips, hands to heart center, and you may sway from side to side as you begin to open up your hips. Eventually come back to stillness, hands to heart center. If the full sole of your feet reaches the mat, then pretend that you're standing up. Bring a sense of energy about it. And then wherever you are, whether it's full sole of your feet or just the balls of your feet on the mat, bring your hands toward the top of the mat. Sit bones come up first, and inhale, rise all the way back up. A modified forward folds. Reach your hands toward the top of the mat as you open up the tops of your shoulders, the tops of your back. Hands come back to center. Heel toe yourself so that your feet are just a couple of inches apart. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands. We're getting right into it. Breaking down the Surya Namaskar. Step back, high plank. Stay here. Check your foundation. Your hands are about shoulder distance apart. Your feet are about hip distance apart. Fingers webbed, pressing down through your fingertips and your knuckles. Okay, we're going to do what we did in standing. So press your hands into the ground as if you're opening a super heavy door, overextending so that the shoulder part actually starts to round. Nice. Gently release the rounding. Flatten your upper shoulder. Plug your arm bones back in. And how is your core? Tuck your tailbone in. Nice. You might be shaking, belly button tucked into and then up, as if you had pant zippers. What would it feel like if you were to zip your pant zippers up? Nice. Press back, downward dog. Holy moly. Gently come down into tabletop position. Let's get a feel for it here. When we're in tabletop, we take some weight off of the arms so that we can work on the foundation. So your hands are about shoulder distance apart. Notice the stacking, shoulders over your elbows, over your wrists. How is that feeling? We've been here. We were just here at the beginning of the practice. Okay, do what we did in standing. Press your hands into the ground so much so that you begin to overextend and that upper back rounds. And then gently lower and plug your arm bones back nice into your shoulders. You're not rounding through that low spine. Tuck your tailbone in. Tuck your belly button in and up. Nice, strong core. Smile through your collarbone. Nice, widen the front of your chest. And as you're ready, begin as you hug your elbows in. So you want the eyes of your elbows to begin to point toward each other. Keep your elbows by your sides. And again, you don't want to wing in too much or wing out. You want for it to directly point to the door or the window behind you. As you're ready, lower down. See if you can make it to 90 degrees. You might not, and you don't have to make it to 90 degrees either. You know how low to go because you only want to go as low as you can with being able to come back up. Did that sentence make sense? Only go as low as you can to be able to come all the way back up. Whew, nice. Okay, let's go ahead and do 3 of those. Move slow. Let's go for the first one together. Notice all of these moving parts here. Belly button up, in and up. Tailbone tucked, shoulders flat, arm bone tucked in. Smile through your collarbone. Got it? Okay, lower down. Chaturanga. You may lower to 90. You may not lower to 90. Either way, only go as low as you can to be able to come back up. That's 1. Lower for 2. That's 2. Press all the way back up. And the third one, let's hold for 2 breaths. Lower down your half chaturanga here. 1 breath. Oh my gosh. 2nd breath. And lower all the way down onto your belly. Nice job. Opposite hand to opposite elbow, forehead to your forearms. Your feet toward the outer edges of your mat. Take a moment here to catch your breath and just let go. Anything that's holding tension, just let it go. Okay, come back. Tabletop position. Press back. Downward dog. Tailbone up toward the sky. Inhale, high plank. Belly button to your spine. Your core leads. Hip comes up first. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Nice. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Bring a bend into your knees. Hop or step toward the top of the mat. And inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward. One more strengthening exercise for our chaturangas, and then we'll get back to the flow. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. Exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, look forward. And exhale, plant your hands, hop or step toward the back of the mat. High plank, belly button to your spine. Your shoulders stacked over your elbows, stacked over your wrists. Okay, draw yourself forward just a little bit. You want to come forward as if you're peering over a ledge so that you can keep your elbow in line with your wrists. And whether you want to do it in full plank or in half plank with your feet lifted up, come down into your chaturanga. Again, you only go as low as 90 degrees, but you don't have to come all the way down to 90 degrees. Only as low as you can go while being able to come all the way back up. Okay, gently lower all the way down onto your belly. I'm sure you would have counted yourself as have done a chaturanga by now. That was a mouthful that I said there. Come into crocodile pose for a moment. And then on your own time, come back to high plank. Let's lower down 3 more chaturangas, whether you want to do it in half or whether you want to do it in full. Remember all of your cues, belly button in and up. Smile through your collarbone. Draw yourself forward, even if you're in just half chaturanga, as if you're peering over a ledge. Lower down, maybe up to 90 degrees, and exhale, come all the way back up, pressing into your arms. Lower down for a second one. Chaturanga. Belly button to your spine. Tuck that tailbone in and press all the way back up. Chaturanga. And maybe just for fun, let's do the last one in high plank, wherever you are. So if you know that you're not going to be able to do your chaturanga in high plank, just take a pit stop at chaturanga on your way down to your belly. Otherwise, we chaturanga and we come back up, okay? Ready? Hands shoulder distance apart. Get yourself set up. Get your foundation set up. That's the most important thing. And whenever you're ready, lower down. Chaturanga. Onto your belly. Or if you can, come all the way back up. Nice. And then lower all the way down. Crocodile pose. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Your feet out toward the outer edges of the mat. So it's important to work on your chaturangas, not just because it's a foundation, the foundation of many of the flows that we do, but also because it helps you with your posture. It's going to also help you with arm balances. Gently make your way back into a downward dog. Take a deep inhale. And a deep exhale in downward dog. Bring a bend into your knees. Hop or step toward the outer edges of your mat. Malasana. Nice. Your yogi squat opening up through the hips. Hands come forward. Sit bones come up first. Rise all the way up. And heel toe yourself back together. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward, staying here in Tadasana for 1 breath. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. Exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step toward the back of the mat. Flow through, making sure that you pay extra attention. Take your time as you flow through into your chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward dog. Nice. Bring a bend into your knees. Come high up onto your tippy toes. Hop or step toward the top of the mat. Yogi squat, hands to heart center. Okay, this is where we're going to apply our hard work. Waddle yourself toward the center of your mat. And let's try a crow pose. As with all crow poses, though, there are many, many stations that you can stop at. This being one of them. If you're good here in bakasana, and you're like, yeah, that's where I want to be today. This is so perfect. This feels so good. But if you do want to try the arm balance, the crow pose together, then go ahead, open up your arms toward the outer edges of your mat. Come high up onto your tippy toes, hug your knees into your armpits. Look straight. Look ahead of you. Nice. Look ahead of you, not behind you. And maybe you come so high up onto your tippy toes that you begin to bring a bend into your arms, chaturanga arms, and you're able to lift one set of toes and then another. And it's in the balancing of the knees over your armpits and the strength of your arms that's able to keep you in this bakasana, in this crow pose. Keep strengthening up the arms, especially if you've made it to bakasana. And if not, keep teetering, keep playing, and let it be light. Let it be playful. Testing it out, maybe surprising yourself along the way. Eventually, come all the way back into your yogi squat. Hands come forward and draw your knees back into tabletop position. Ending off where we started, a little bit of wrist stretch. Point your right fingertips towards your right knees and find yourself stretching out through your wrists, taking as much or as little as you need. And gently releasing, fingers point forward and left fingers to your left knees. Gently draw your sit bones back, opening up the fronts of your wrists. And gently release, left fingertips point forward and come into a seated position. Wrap your hands behind you. Those wrapped hands come down towards your tailbone, heart up toward the sky. That same sensation of smiling through your collarbone, opening up your heart space. Your heart openers are actually quite energizing. So in your inhale, inhaling that newfound sense of energy. And gently release. Nice. Draw the soles of your feet together. Butterfly pose. Hug or hang on to the outer edges of your feet. Allow your knees to drop to either side of your mat. Tuck your chin back towards your chest. Bring introspection back into your practice. And gently lift your chin, hug your knees back together, and draw yourself back into either child's pose or seed pose. Seed pose being that your knees are closer together. And wherever you are, draw your arms back behind you, forehead on your mat. Give your arms, your wrists a little bit of a break, a little bit of a rest. It's done a lot for us today. And slowly, gently inhale, rise all the way back into tabletop position. just enough so that you can sweep your feet out behind you. Roll all the way onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And then gently allow yourself to splay out into the final pose of the day, Shavasana. Legs straight out in front of you, arms down beside you, palms face the sky, feet flopped out to either which way. Take one releasing breath. Long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, side out through your mouth. Sink in, sink down. And challenge yourself to see how quickly and how immediately you can let everything go. Softening from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes, completely effortless. And as you keep on breathing those long, deep inhales and long, deep exhales, and as you continue to soften, sinking into the mat, allowing yourself to be supported by the earth underneath you, becomes so effortless that it feels like as if you're floating, drifting. No anticipations, no expectations. If only for these last few moments. This is true freedom. Allow yourself to have that true freedom of just being, just breathing. Knowing that this is the time when your practice integrates your strength, your willingness, your efforts. Those are all being integrated within you. And allow yourself to continue to drift as you are, drifting, floating. Losing a sense of anticipation, expectation, being completely present for the next 3 breaths to complete your practice. Then gently begin to reawaken, bringing movement back into your body, rounding out your wrists and your ankles. No rush, slow, slow. Might feel so good as you round out your wrists. Take an extra moment there. Bringing movement into your arms and eventually stretching your arms up overhead for a nice deep stretch. Hug your knees into your chest. Your arms around your knees, rock from side to side. And then eventually tip on over to one side or the other. And use your hands to help you up into a seated posture. As you arrive, hands to heart center. Bow in towards yourself, closing your eyes one very last time. And taking an honest moment here to recognize yourself for showing up on your mat today, for your strength, for trying, for noticing, and for being present. And of course, for the light within you. Gently flutter your eyes open. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Can't wait to see you at the next class. Namaste.